Sir.
Sir, if you could also sign it for us, it will become a collective. Keep it on the top of the chat. No, chat. Keep it.
Sir, side on. No, wait for my signature.
That was really special. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being here. Special thanks to Naren. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Selva. I've been associated with sports for quite some time, but like all of our dreams, I switched to cancel the dream and went behind business. And finally, I'm back here. Naren, we've known each other for long. We've been in the racing circuit, and of course, he went on to become the Formula One driver. And anyway, thanks for Naren. Thanks for doing this for us. Over to Vinayta and Naren. They'll keep you engaged with the best fireside chat I can expect.
Thank you, Selva.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Really happy to be here at the RUC Sports Film Festival. What can I say? It's the first time it's been, such a sports festival for movies has been, conducted in Chennai, and really happy to be here and wishing RUC the very best in all their endeavors. And what can I say? I'm sure you all like the movie, and actually it's based on a real life F1 driver, but of course it's dramatized a bit. But I really enjoyed the movie.
That was going to be my first question. So why don't you take a seat so we shall talk about it. Also, don't worry, we'll open up to the audience for some questions if you have anything to ask, probably at the end. Hello. So you said that it was dramatized a little bit. So how much was true?
Well, Formula One is a very, very tough sport. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, and it's always been a big challenge to be there. You're one amongst the 20 special drivers in the world, and takes a lot to get there. A lot of hard work, and from backgrounds such as ours from India, you need to work even more harder to get there. And now you're in the public eye much more than what we when I started with all the social media and everything. So it's an extremely tough sport physically and mentally, and driving is only 10% what you do outside the car. And the financial backing and so many other things that go with it, the right brakes, the right team. I can go on forever, but I said it's a little bit dramatized because Brad Pitt's team was placed very lowly on the grid, but then they do a lot of bend the rules a little bit, and that is not possible. So yeah, that was a little bit dramatized, but overall I think it was a great movie. And as I told you, it's based on a real life Formula One driver, Martin Donnelly, who had a very bad accident in 1990, and he was potentially a world champion, they said. And so unfortunately he couldn't come back like what the movie portrays, but nevertheless, it's much of it is quite accurate, and it's very well made, and you see all the work that goes into it. It's a team effort, huge team effort.
It was a really well made movie. I can't deny that. And also, you were a design developer for a while, and how did that help you being a racer? And I'm sure it was.
Well, I do a lot of work with Tata Motors.
Yes.
Basically benchmarking and the dynamics of the new cars. So how this happened was Mr. Tata was supporting my Formula One program, and he was on the board of Fiat. And he saw one Michael Schumacher do a lot of work for their developing the road car. So he came back and got me involved with the Tata group, Tata Motors, to do a similar kind of role. And we are part of the vehicle engineering team, which specializes in the dynamics of the Tata platforms. And I've had this role since 2008, and it's well over 18 years now and continuing. So very, very happy. And as I told you earlier, sponsorship is something that is crucial for a driver, especially for drivers from our country, because the sport itself, the barriers are, firstly, whether it be two-wheeler or four-wheeler racing, it's such an expensive sport, because the equipment, you need to get the best equipment, and motorsport is a specialized form of the equipment is all high-tech, space age, so for safety and so many other reasons, so it's expensive. So in my case, I had the support, I still have the support of the Tata Group, and sponsors are the most critical, crucial. Now, as I told you earlier, there's so much more coverage, and for motorsport, Netflix has done a great job in promoting Drive to Survive. So suddenly everybody is watching Formula One. So there should be more potential sponsors and so on.
Since you spoke about the sport being very expensive, a lot of my friends, youngsters who are really interested in the sport, they don't know how to go about it, because you need, like you said, you need a lot of backing. Probably start from the family, or you need to have a lot of money to invest in it. So what do you think is the advice that you could give, or guidance that you could give for it, for people who don't have the financial backup but to be interested in the sport?
Yeah, so there, especially in two-wheeler racing, that is developed quite well. There are a lot of one-make series. Of course, in four-wheeler racing, the kindergarten of motorsport is go-karting, and there is an Indian championship which has a bit of competition, and then some drivers from here, from India, are we have Rivan Dev here, who's a potential world champion in go-karting. He's 12 years old, and I'll talk a little bit about him. So he started off, his father used to be one of the best two-wheeler riders, and he was multiple champion. And of course, they had an exposure to motorsport, and that's how he started. And he's become extremely good talent, but now he needs to progress to Europe. So that is that's where one has to hone their skills, and for that, of course, the family is doing whatever they can, but then the corporate world also needs to push him through. And this is one of the brightest young talents we have, and hopefully his journey is much easier than mine, because I was the first guy, but now, as I told you, I'm sure there will be a lot more support, and we should all help to push the next potential Formula One driver from our country.
Okay, like you said, the go-karting was one of the first steps for the racers to practice. But in India, I think we had a disadvantage of not having the right kind of training. Other racers from other countries had extensive training background. So how do you see that? Will it change now?
Yeah, it's changing. It's changing quite a lot. Of course, I didn't start in go-karting. I started straight away racing in single-seater, so I had a huge disadvantage for the first few years. But then you adapt, and when you're so hungry, you want to be successful, then you adapt to whatever the challenges are. So really, I believed in myself, and I went and started driving in the Formula 2 Championship in England. There was a lot of competition. Senna, so many other Formula 1 drivers had driven this championship. And when I started winning there, then I believed then I had what it takes to go to Formula 1. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. It was extremely difficult. Plus, it's a European dominated sport end of the day. So of course Lewis is different, and he should have gone through so much of hardships to get to where he is. Of course, in England, I felt a lot of people believe that we are not meant to be here in this sport. It's a very elite sport, and that's how it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But now things again, the world is opening up, and so there's a lot of inclusion, and so it's slightly better than what it was, but it's still very, very tough. Yeah.
We've always been extremely proud of you, and you're also one of Carlin's first earliest drivers, and that paved path for them to initiate a lot of you. Yeah.
The Carlin is one of the most successful junior racing teams, I would say, and I got them the first win in England, and ever since they've become very successful. And that is definitely a chance for young Indian drivers to the ladder, as they say. After go-karting, it's Formula 4, and then you do well in Formula 4, then you go to Formula 3, Formula 2, and finally to Formula 1. Of course, you need to get enough. Not everybody can drive a Formula 1 car, even if you compete in the other championships. You have to get a minimum of so many super license points to be eligible to compete in Formula 1. And for this, you need to be successful in the lower categories in Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2, and that's how it happens. That's how you get a super license. The opportunities are, I would say, slightly better off now. Let's. We all do whatever we can for pushing the sport, and
Okay, so now we saw the movie. But a hypothetical question I'm going to ask. இப்போ தமிழ்ல அந்த படம் பண்ணா, who would you? I think we all know the question. Answer. So நீங்க யாரை காஸ்ட் பண்ணனும் would prefer?
So it's a very quite obvious thing. Ajit does a lot of racing, and he's in his early 50s, still very passionate. He didn't have the opportunity to do it earlier. Now he's fully dedicating himself towards motorsport, and he's built a team, and it's fabulous what he's doing. Of course, he has a huge learning curve, and every day he drives the car, he becomes better at it. And then we go back a long way. Ajit and I have been friends for the last 25 years, and that he's promoting motorsport in India, and he wanted to put this whole program together, and wanted to compete in the Asian Le Mans series, and he asked if I would like to drive with him, and I said yes, of course, and that's how we're going to get on with the Asian Le Mans season, which starts in December. So
Okay. Looking forward to it. Are you just saying this, or do we already know the news?
I think everybody knows, and but it's a small step to something which can be a lot bigger. We're just exploring the opportunities to see how this team can develop into as I said, a staircase for young talented drivers from our country.
That's great. And you still contribute a lot to sports, even your family, and you have a very big philanthropic background, and you contribute to education, a lot of other things. So tell us about it.
I'm from Coimbatore, and my family has settled there for the last 100 odd years, and we are part of the PSG family. So we run colleges, medical colleges, engineering colleges, and so on. And always my great grandfather, and it's be a part of a trust which always tries to help in form of education, in form of healthcare, and so on. So to be part of it is really, I'm privileged, and I continue to do so. And in terms of giving back to the sport, to motorsport, we had an academy called the NK Racing Academy, but then I got busy with other things. But now it's time to get back into it and try and help the younger talent from our country.
Wishing you nothing but the best. You've accomplished so much and still stay so humble and so nice and simple. Because I think we've seen you for a long time. You've always been the same. And you should give him a huge round of applause again, guys.
Thank you.
And as I've been told, you're also very fun. Not this rigid. Also
Can be.
fun. Okay, I'm just going to ask you some really fun, laid-back questions. No? Chuma. You have rained already. It's okay. I'm just going to ask you, like, what is your favorite sport to watch? Chuma veetla ukanda TV la paakuradhukku.
Of course, F1.
Apart from okay, forgot to mention. Apart from F1.
Yeah, but nothing else really matters. I watch motorsport and more motorsport, and little bit of cricket. And Sachin Tendulkar is huge F1 fan. He came to some of my races, and of course, when he was playing, and I did a few commercials with Dhoni and stuff. So, I used to watch a bit of cricket, not anymore. A bit of tennis, but nothing. Nothing as.
Do you play any sport?
Yeah, just the gym. Enough sport, I think. Enough for me.
Some more time pass, badminton. Nothing. Okay. Strictly no.
And I'm still quite lucky to be fit. And whenever I drive a racing car, I'm on the pace. So that's what really matters. And that's why when Ajit asked me whether I wanted to do it, I'm not doing it just for the fun of it. I'm being going to we had to compete. No matter, you have to compete in the attitude, in the mindset of, you have to be, in your category, you have to be P1. And that's what, is fun. Just to be there and at this stage in my career, a lot of effort to, so.
What's your favorite personal car to drive?
Well, I have a lot of favorite cars. I can keep, talking about it, but I would say the 911 Porsche 911 GT3. I had one and I don't have it anymore, but I love it and I hope I can get one sometime.
Okay, do you like Coimbatore more or Chennai more?
That's a trick question. I was born in Chennai but live in Coimbatore, and very recently, last 4 years I've been living in Bangalore as well. So of course Chennai is a lot of good memories here because I started driving in our Chennai racetrack MMRT way back in '93. Was only 14-15 years old, and it's so special memories for sure.
That was really nice. So before we end, would you like to ask the audience for a few questions, a couple of questions? Do you have time?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, anybody from the audience? Yes. Okay, we'll just take 2 questions. History or Norris?
Well, both are talented. I think Norris went through a little bit of, by a bit of a bad patch last race, being unlucky with the DNF. But you have to say that, Piastri has the edge right now. So, I would say, imagine if he continues this way, he's going to win it.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. You said that this is an elite sport. For example, according to you, you own a lot of institutions, things like that. You come from a very, very wonderful family and all. And, how about a person who is a very ordinary person? Who doesn't have wealth and all. This kind of people they compete in this kind of car races and can they come up? Is there in the history? Are there any examples in the whole world?
Not in our country, but of course, Lewis Hamilton comes from a very humble background, but he's made it. He's 7-time world champion. But it's going to be very extremely tough. Even if you have all the sponsorship, you still have to go to the track and deliver. So at that point of view, competition doesn't see if you're if you have the resources or if you don't. But end of the day, myself, I had the backing of the Tata Group. So corporate sponsorship, no matter how privileged background you have, you need to have this sport requires a lot of backing. So yeah, unless there is a lot of corporate support, it's going to be quite difficult for anybody.
Thank you.
Hi, here. I don't know, I'm quite late to the session, but still, I just want to ask one question regarding Ajit Kumar Racing Team, which you have joined recently. And being a Ajit fan, I mean, it's not like a fanboy thing. We are happy for what Mr. AK is doing. And now, since you have joined, can you just tell few lines about the team and what's their goal going forward? Or like they have some big inspirations or aspirations regarding...
Yeah, the immediate goal, of course, is to establish... So, Ajit Kumar Racing, Ajit sir, our goal was to put an Indian team together. So Model Sonnamari, I know Ajit sir for 25 years. Because he's also interested in racing, was always interested, bike racer. So various goals. Going back to your question, this is step one, and later on, there are a lot of plans which I think, first you take one step at a time, and that's the first step is to establish this team, and he's becoming better as a driver as well. So.
Sir, already Patricio Fabin சொல்லி ரெண்டு பேர் இருந்தாங்க. அந்த இட ரீப்ளேஸ்
அது எனக்கு தெரியாது. அவர் இப்போ இல்ல அவர். அவங்க ரெண்டு பேர் இல்ல நான்.
சோ நீங்க வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் அவங்க ரிலீவ் ஆயிட்டாங்களா இல்ல
அப்படியா?
சார் சமீபத்தில் ஏகே அவர்கள் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க இந்தியாவில இருந்து F1 வின் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியான விஷயங்கள் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ அதுவும் இல்லாமல் இன்னொரு விஷயம் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க, நீங்கள் என்ன ப்ரொமோட் பண்ண வேணாம், ரேசிங்கை ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணிருங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரியான ஒரு விஷயமும் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டும் கொடுத்துருக்காரு. எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க? தமிழ்நாட்டில் அந்த விழிப்புணர்வு அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கா ரேசிங்கில்? அண்ட் அவர் சொன்ன அந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் F1 வந்து இந்தியாவிலேருந்து வின் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியான விஷயங்களும் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அது எப்படி பார்க்குறோம்?
தமிழ்நாடுன்னு எடுத்துட்டிங்கன்னா நம்ம இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர், as far as infrastructure is concerned, Tamil Nadu most number of race tracks. F1 drivers எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா both the drivers are from Tamil Nadu. So India நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு history இருக்கு. Tamil Nadu has produced a lot of drivers. Having said that, Budh track Delhi it's one of the best tracks in Asia. So yes, of course. 20 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி நான் F1 ஓட்டினேன். So now there must be definitely a lot of kids given the opportunity, they're going to do it.
சார் தமிழ்நாட்டுல ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் எந்த அளவுக்கு சப்போர்ட்டா இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? என்ன எவ்வளவு சப்போர்ட் கொடுக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
So motor racing was not even recognized as a sport, but since 2010 I got the Padma Shri award. Adukapram, of course we have recognition. The federation, FMSCI, the Federation Motorsports Clubs of India, they're doing their bit. So yeah, state government, of course. Now last year we had the street race. So I mean everybody is doing their bit.
There's just one more question. Last question.
அவர் வந்து ட்ராக்ல அடிக்கடி ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆகுது. உங்ககிட்ட ஏதாவது சஜஷன் கேக்குறாங்களா? நீங்க ஏதாவது உங்ககிட்ட இன்புட்ஸ் ஏதாவது கேக்குறாங்களா? நீங்க ஏதாவது கொடுக்குறீங்களா அஜித் அவர்களுக்கு?
I mean accidents, racing goes hand in hand. அது part and parcel of racing.
சார் தமிழ்நாட்டுல இப்போ ஒரு ரேசிங் நடந்தது சார். அது நீங்க எப்படி பாக்குறீங்க? அது தமிழ்நாட்டுல சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா நடந்ததா?
சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா தான் நடந்தது.
Thank you
guys, thank you so much. Thank you.